Molweni bahlobo, molweni emakhaya, molweni bahlali. Sanamukela kwinqubo yethu. What keeps you going with them jollies? My name is Tulisile Motaba Komjali.
The author.
This is my husband, the author. Yay.
Yeah.
Phela ngafiwa yo.
South Africa yonke amangenya.
Ow! Yeah. Hey! Alright. Guys, siyabonga ukuthi niwazile ukuthi nibe nathi again on another spectacular episode. You know almost how we do it. What keeps you going with them jollies. So guys, in today's episode, we are basically going to be looking back at Istorisa, one of the guests that we've had, Cynthia. Right? And she Mbanja. You know what? You know why I'm avoiding saying her surname is because of you kept on saying Bingwa on the previous. Yes, you were saying that you were tempted to say that. So now in my head, I'm like, I'm gonna say it wrong. So thanks for coming to my rescue. I was hoping that you would. Right. So Cynthia Mbanja, right? Yes. So we had him.
Author of Still I Smile.
Right. Yeah. So guys was joining, and sure, what a journey. What a journey that she's been through, guys. You know, if I was through the most was a person, I'd definitely give it to her. Like, yeah, it's a lot. So because I'm not a very good storyteller, and so I'm not a very good storyteller, so I always depend on Ubaba to give us about her journey and her story, and you know how she overcame everything and what keeps her going. And then we're gonna dive into what we think about her episode and what we have learned from that episode. Yeah. So over to you.
Inzima kakhulu, is sad, painful, it's everything, man, you ask yourself, why do some other people have to go through all these things?
So much, yeah.
Like, it's so painful, it's not discussing that, and you wouldn't tell, young Tom.
That's the thing, right?
Probably always smiling and just enthusiastic.
That's just the thing about people who go through the most.
Yeah, young Tom. Individual not positive about life and everything, right? And then the Kuluma now, and then I was raped, gang raped at the age of 16 by 5 guys, not just for one day or that particular moment, but for 4 consecutive days. Young Tolo. At the age of 16, what does that do to you mentally, psychologically?
As a 16-year-old.
How do you perceive life? How do you perceive God? Young Tolo. Uzukolole nale status lesi konje bathini bathi intando kaNkulunkulu ifuna iniphe side. Funeka iqhubeke simehlane.
Ngoba ibhlungu intando kaNkulunkulu, guys. Sometimes ibhlungu. Honestly.
So uSinta at the age of 16 uzalelwe ngapha kodwa ukhulele eKZN. Angikho sure go eKZN, right? Arranged at the age of 16. The following year,
gang raped,
right? Yeah. The following year, I discovered I'm diagnosed actually with cancer. Is it called
ovarian cancer?
Ovarian cancer, right? Now, on top of everything else again, now ukuzala.
Yes.
You must forget about that. You understand? But yeah, ngoba umuntu okholwa umuntu othandazayo ube able ukuthi come out of those situations are positive.
Triumphant also.
You understand? Afuna ukuba serious in life, afuna achieve amaphupha and all those things. You understand? And then ohambe lakhe wahlangana with this Nigerian man, understand? Bathandana kwaba mnandi mayisaqala, you understand? Bekuyi prince, so why na Nigeria, yangithola kumnandi nje. But a few months down the line, waba inkinga kubhuti ke ubhuti out of the blue umuntu wavela wanyamalala. Was it Christmas or something? It was an important day. Umuntu avela nyamalala ngabuye endlini. Yangithola ukuthi ufanda sokhona usiso khona esayidini. sorry kube nje nama-issue amaningi. I think to an extent ukuthi khona la wabambana nje nezandla nabo ashayisene naye ayesontweni ashayisana naye abhizi kusaluni eside chick.
Wow.
Wabalwisa uthi makaqeda ukubalwisa kanjalo kwabizwa amaphoyisa nje kwaba impi enkulu. Makaqeda lapho waqhubeka wayesontweni wayominister.
After the same incident, right?
After the same incident.
Wow.
Yakuthola lo muntu uthi usinta makade discovera konke lokho ahead athi ubuyela kubo yakuthola lento uthi ubuyela kini uhead nani lo muntu kunokuthi alandelela athi buya ekhaya afika thatha ifurniture yonke.
Sure, guys.
Thatha ifurniture yonke ahambe. Usinta makabuya kwabo akuna furniture nabo makhelwane bathi thina besithi niyathutha ana vele makhelwane uzocabanga lokho ukuthi mangibona into yakho ukuthi sebayahamba la. You understand? And then after some time inkinga zabo ke bazi resolve ke kungapheli lapho noma sekabuyile ngasaphindi na few weeks phinde futhi ayenza lokho. So ubhuti was a serious cheater. Yangithola to an extent ukuthi usinta watazi hayi la ngathi kuzofa mina. You understand? Wamdivorce ke waphuma kuye ke. August 2 sekalanda bo 30 something 33 34.
Who?
Usinta.
Okay.
Yangithola ngoba uthi wahlala nje for isikhathi. Angajola angenzi lutho wahlangana ke nomunye ke. Lona kumlandela esontweni akazafika esontweni ukuthi azini ngiyakuthanda sesingiserious ngawe. So usinta amtshela athi azini ke lana ngeke ithintwe ilokho njani ikonje bathini konje wesilungu bathini ijug lani
the cookie jar.
The cookie jar. You understand? Kube nalethu ukuthi lana usinta athazini ngibuya ku marriage I was hurt so angeke nje siyo ocansini ungakayenza ama intentions akhabe clear. So bajole ke for 3 months ubhuti ke apropose kuleyo 3 months leyo ke mhlambe naye sakajahile ukuthi ufuna into yabantu phela. Yakuthola ufuna into yabantu amaXhosa masowaba valga bathi ayithi papa letho. So now kube leyo nto leyo ke ugaya propose ke then ke athi singamove in together ngepermission yabazali since so wenza ama intentions akho clear so uthumela incwadi singamove in together.
Ncade encane.
Oh mama move in together ke. So beyangasebenza ubhuti. Athola umsebenzi makathola umsebenzi athi uzomuvela closer okay because i first month yakhe yokusebenza kanamali uzobuhlala kubo because kubo ku closer to work. Yakuthola azabe right ukuthi anga travel.
Right.
Usinto ujedo umuntu uhlala kubo kanti umuntu ku side chick sonke lesikhathi.
This whole time.
Sonke lesikhathi. I side chick izibe pregnant.
Oh my gosh.
So usinto discover lokho ukuthi umuntu lona une side chick pregnant. Oh, esinye stress and headache futhi to an extent ukuthi khona la waze wamgijimisa ngomese. Yakuthola azamgijimisa ngomese endlini. Okay, indlule le yabantwana ke babizwe ke abafundisi ke which is something esimele si discuss guys. Labantu laba abama marriage counselors by the virtue ukuthi bashadile. Ukuthi imshado yabi njani, ukuthi healthy or
sorry to cut you babes.
Yeah.
Please continue with the summary.
Yeah,
we're gonna get into because I feel like so we don't dive in. Can we just finish off?
Kube lokho ke.
So after chase ngomese, right?
After athola ukuthi unengane ngaphandle.
That's when she decided it was over. She
continued. But okay ngoba vele wena okwamanje infertile yangithola ngoba usesenethemba lokuthola abantwana. But okay mhlambe lokho okwenzekile ukuthi nibe nengane engizoyikhulisa kube ijustification athi okay akunankinga ke ngizomkhulisa lo mntwana kube le agreement hayi ngizomkhulisa lo mntwana ke as fine noma ngingasiyena owami ngizomkhulisa makhambe isikhathi ubhuda akaqedi lapho busy ngamanye amantombazana like I think nje kuba ama issue nje amaningi to an extent khona ngamthola vele endlini abuye esontweni makathi endlini umuntu uphuma nomuntu wakho bambile. So yilabantu nje labo nje ukuthi ku strat enhlala kuso ubusy ngabo umakhelwane ubusy ngabo egarage la nenza khona ubusy ngithola. So usinta having learned from a previous marriage yakhe wabo doesn't
I'm not going to do this anymore again.
Ngizona builders mina ngicela ukuthi ngizowakha amadoda mina la so umsebenzi wami. So ke kwaphela kanjalo.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Guys, again.
Yo, angikhona ngazi ukuthi ngithina ngazi noma ngizokhomenta kuso le story but
it's really like it's really so sad. So in summary what you've said is that this person was raped at the age of 60, gang raped. Then she was diagnosed with ovarian cancer.
17.
At 17.
Yeah.
Then she gets into her first marriage. Then there was infidelity, betrayal, and all those things.
Yeah.
And her second marriage. And in the second marriage, there was a child, right? So imagine what that does to somebody who has been diagnosed with ovarian cancer, where your chances of having a kid might be very low, you know? So I always say, guys, I'm against now. They're just phenomenal. Like, strong. I don't know how or where they get the strength to actually carry on. And going back to what you've said when we've started, they're just always these bubbly people.
Yeah.
Like, I swear to God, they just like bubbly. They, you know, and you just look at them and think, how do you do it? You know?
Yeah.
And yeah, man, it's just really, really sad. But for me, one thing that actually stood out for me, it's this point, right? I think I wanted to make it in the previous episode, but she said something that I feel was very powerful. I mean, umuntu ophuma kuma relationships, asithi kuma marriage, right? I too, and I have abhlungu, and they were almost like similar, you know? If begu ngathiwa omunye umuntu or omunye umuntu wesifazane, right? She would have gone to an extent of saying, usathane uyangilinga, usathane is ruining my marriage, usathane is doing 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
But she said one thing, ukuthi sometimes we don't listen to what God is actually saying. You know, ngezinye inkathi uNkulunkulu might be saying to you, pack your bags and leave. Baleka ngenyawo zombili. You know, but as women, siba so stubborn that sifuna ukuhlala. The very same thing that is very detrimental even to your health, to everything about you, you know, but uzofuna ukuhlala, you know. So I think let's shy away from blaming the devil. Uthe makayisho, and I'm quoting here, right? Wathi usathane sometimes usidlelele Limpopo. Siyamsukela.
Uhlelele impompo.
Idi?
So ichaza.
Oh, okay. What does that mean?
I'm not really sure in that context.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was in essence, yes,
Usathane
Usathane has nothing to do with any of the things ezenzakalayo. Sometimes it's God talking and thina interpret ngokuthi no, it's the devil. We are, you know, at war with the devil. You know, sometimes it's God saying, pack your bags, girl. You know, the first time umbamba umuntu, you know, which is something that I wanted to get into. Where do we draw the line? You know, and giving second chances, right? Especially in cases where somebody is constantly doing something eghetayo. I mean, look at her story. She gave the first guy a second chance, right?
Yeah.
And he continued to do that. Even in her second marriage, she was bold enough to forgive, you know, the person, and, you know, she was willing to work on the marriage. Hence, they went for marital counseling, and she had hopes, you know, this might actually work. So where do we actually draw the line to say, no, this is not it anymore? Because, I mean, you know, they always preach, forgive, forgive, forgive. But to which point do you actually, you know, go about forgiving the person? And do people actually really change? And what role can I play in assisting that person to change? And I'm putting this to you as a man. I'm hoping yes, I'm actually putting this as a man because I'm coming back to this thing. I think it's why is it that most of the time you find it's men this, men that. I'm a tata this, I'm a tata that. You know, where do we draw the line, guys, in terms of forgiving such things? Because you get instances, right, where you're like, okay, this person when's it 1, 2, 3, and I think okay, it's a mistake, right? And then you mistake, but a mistake grante as a mistake is better. I'm actions following that, right? Then we can say, okay, I mean, a true apology for me is changed behavior, guys. Also, right, I mean, next, you know. But see, I've seen Leo trend Leo she's been forgiving, she's been hopeful. You know what, this is gonna work out. Let me give him a chance. Let me do this and that, you know. And yeah, it baffles me. Where do we draw the line? If our ender isn't available the first time around, I think begazohlezi analento ukuthi, but what would have happened if ngingamuphi chance? What if begazoshintsha? You know? And then she decided, okay, let me actually give them a chance and see ukuthi sizohamba sifike phi. And cycle has pinned.
I think I'm a second chance. Second chances, forgiveness is part and parcel of being married, right? That is gonna be your language once you shut. But the problem for me, igakhulu first consistency of something mayenzeka, right? But even before we get there, khona abantu angazisidalwa or ngesibomu abanganayo nembeza. You understand? Omunye umuntu ongakhoni ukuyibeka oyifake ezicathuleni zomunye umuntu. So if you are married to that person, there's nothing ongayenza. You understand?
Sure.
Khona ezinye izinto ezenziwa amanye amadoda. I think abantu abamameli la, majority abazomangala ukuthi how obuhlungu obuso, and asikhulumi ngokuthi sikhuluma ngama years apart. No, like weeks and months. You understand? And then usibuza ukuthi umuntu nawo nembeza na. So now you find ukuthi ngene emshadweni nabantu usinto ukuthi bathethe 3 months. So you can understand ukuthi umuntu angeke umazi in 3 months. Yakuthola angeke uthole wonke ama side akhe in 3 months. So which makes it tough. Yakuthola ukuthi at least umuntu akabe nonembeza masingena. So khona amadoda afana njenge ex kaSinte ukuthi abanawo nembeza.
Both.
Yakuthola both two. Yakuthola ukuthi unembeza wukho for all nembeza. You understand? So abantu abanjalo it's hard. Abona ku criminal justice or konje criminal law. Yeah, type of thing yakuthola. Khona abantu abazobothema njengama sociopaths. You understand? Ukuthi abana iability yokuthi bazwele umuntu obabone ubuwrong abakwenza. You understand? You got what's in the wild get labantu abama serial killer and stuff like that. Yangithola ukuthi yena kuyo right noma sejela akawuthibona iphutha.
So
now
anything.
Yes. Khona amadoda anjalo. Khona abantu besifazana abanjalo. Ukuthi before ungene emshadweni uthole ukuthi umuntu unayo nembeza. Uyazibona maka wrong. Unalo ability le. Right? Mase singenile emshadweni. Mina for me inkinga kakhulu kuba consistent yento.
Yeah.
Yangithola. For example, uyangihlonipha, yangithola. But kuba laba instances where you don't respect me. You understand? But lawo ma instances, no matter how painful they are to me, yangithola. Singaba ne argument escalate and then you say stuff we've agreed before, you shouldn't be saying this stuff to me as your husband. Yangithola. Usishe leso stuff leso. But now, do I use that one instance to define you? Does it become your definition? For that one instance, once in a while, disrespectful, so you understand? I think that's where umehluko is. Yakuthola. Khona umuntu ozoyenza iphutha, but manje iphutha lakhe ngathi sokuyini. Awusathola ukwenza kwakhe kahle sokuncane, ukwenza kakhulu. A relationship I survive scientifically. If ulandelela imishado enjalo sengikhuluma nge-scientific data where amaphutha amaningi ungidlula inkathi ezinhle iba i-problem. You understand? However, in whatever ukuhethana okukhona emshadweni, right? Into eyikhona singabantu khona izinto ongazazi ngawe. You will discover njengoba sonami
through you. Yes.
Usinta bekangazi ukuthi angawukhipha umesa.
And she said something very important, right, about that part. And she's saying that she's not part of that, but she mentioned that amanyama circumstances are pushing her to being that kind of a person because if her mother were to see her aguleyo mode, she would be so shocked, you know. So I feel like life in ezinye izinto zisipushela lapho. Hence I always say psychologically as fine sabantu, you know, we have ways zokudila ngezinto differently, but ama relationships, guys, I think analeyo nto leyo ukuthi tested to that extent.
Yeah.
Ukuthi ugcine kuna this monster evukayo in you, you know, obongayazi ukuthi existed, you know, and I think that's actually where also we have then to put in the work of, you know, dealing with our past or dealing with whatever is happening at the moment, so that going forward, ongazoyenza the same thing. But
in the corner, with certain things you will never discover about yourself until you are put in those
in that position, yes.
So what people don't understand, ukuthi thina in nature yethu, we are part of ama animals. You understand? Ukuthi in biology yakho isebenza nge-survival no-instinct to defend against the pain. So when usinta does that, hayi ukuthi ayikho kuye. You understand? I-behavior, i-biology yakho my encounter certain situations la wafuna ngathi ukukubulala, i-reacta kanjalo. But now usinta has never been in a position before I'm pushing to that extent ukuthi I discover ukuthi uyakhona ukukwata kangaka.
To that extent,
and then nayo problem ngomshado. Usinta upushe ukuthi enze lokho. Khona nawe ungakwenza kungiphushele lapho. You understand? So
it
now,
has to be two-sided.
Yes, so now kubalekile ukuthi uzazi and consciously understand khona izinto ozozenza, not because unjalo. Khona izinto engizokwenza zona ureact ngendlela nami engimangazayo, but not because consciously you made that decision. It's because the situation now ikufake wangena kuma default setting nokuba yini yilesilwane esiyiso esibelong, you understand? So khona izinto ezinjalo ezenzakalayo, but that doesn't necessarily mean ukuthi usinta umuntu violent. Bekaqala kuba kulesimo, but going forward sekumele yenzeni alungise that part of it ukuthi mawuthola kuleyo situation leyo. But mina I don't take a situation enjalo bese ngithi usinta violent. I don't do that. Unless into ba consistent, then saying it no man, so we problem now. We need to fix this. As to where we draw the line, I think it's up to you as an individual. Good, where do we draw the line?
Meaning, how much of that are you willing to take?
Yes, of anything. It can be ukuthi umuntu yakudisappointa, it can be umuntu ukuthi izinto azikhulumayo verbally ziyakhetha, it can be ukuthi umuntu physical abuses towards you, it can be ukuthi umuntu akakuphi isikhathi sakho osidingayo. Ngiyathola sekudependa kuwe ukuthi where do we draw the line? Ngoba imshado ayifani and they will never be the same. It's easy for me ukuthi I mean I want wangenza lokho, it's done. Khona umuntu othi okay wangenza lokho, it's fine, but don't take it to that extent. So where do we draw the line? I mean, personally, what something in Ghana space in so good consistently it affect you as an individual. Ukuthi you growth yakho, moya wakho and physical. Then kuba ma red flags now for me ukuthi no so kuyinkinga mase ikwenza kanjalo. Mase kwenza ukuthi ungasa function in other areas of your life. Then so kuyinkinga. Ngiyangithola.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's profound.
Because siyakhula baby. Imagine khona izinto at the age of teenager obubelieve kuzo ama ideology or ama dogma bohamba ngawo. Now in your 20s totally different. You understand? Because of the age. Masifika kuma 30s khona life ezos affect her in a way. Ngiyakhumbula bengifunde article about amadoda amafika kwa 40s wawo ukuthi now bafika kule stage konje basibiza ngani. The stage like umuntu, I forget the term ngithola, where midlife crisis type of thing. Mawuthi abheka okay ukhulisile abantwana bakhona but wena personal ufila ngathi awunama achievement awuna next ngithola amadoda agcine sewafuna ukwenzani alana nabantwana abancane to feel ukuthi usese young akagugi nani ngithola. So maningi ama stage life akhona ngithola, and efuna ngibe sibe ne relationship healthy enough yokuthi when you go through that I'm able to get into your shoes. Ngathi I vele uthulu uyabheda ngiyangithola, ngathi vele uthulu so ukuthi yini ekhosa lento le because my wife akekho so for the past 10 years sonke akayenzi lokho. What is it? So thina sometimes ba quick to judge ukuthi hayi uyenza so because ufeel a certain way. And akhombona hlala sikhuluma ngomntwana ukuthi sometimes umntwana unokuphendula in a certain manner, but because umntwana uzam understand ukuthi why akhuluma kanje why yenza lokho ngiyangithola because normal akekho so, but we don't do that with each other. So le life yinde sazohlangana nenkinga eziningi ezikhona ngiyangithola, But beyond just that act, just tatama decisions out of that act. Yeah, that's it Mina, when it comes to drawing that line.
All right.
Yeah.
No, nyaguzo. So I think for me also what just really amazes me about about females, abafana no Cynthia, it's just their will to go back to the same thing. When I watched the episode, I was like, do you still want to go into that? Because I remember is she still willing? Would she still be willing if kungavela brother Otsi? Hey, let's do this again. And she was like, I'd actually, I am still waiting for that right somebody, And yeah, for me, that's just like, it's something else, guys. Like to have the courage to love again, after you've been hurt so many times. And I mean, there's a pattern. And she also, I think, we were touching on how she attracts all these toxic men in her life, and she described herself as this light, right, that just attracts inambuzani, mangimkota. And I don't know, for me, guys, I think I'd be scared to try again, especially if it happened like 2 times. I'd be like, God, clearly this is not for me. I'm out of here. Yeah, But but having the courage, to still be positive about marriage, be positive about love, and just be willing to do it all over again.
Yeah.
I know.
And I think women should know that there's a choice in love. You understand? Mm-hmm. I think sometimes I confuse a lot.
Okay.
We don't know what actually umuntu ozokushela is like a potential business contract, as a potential work environment. Kodwa nani
choice kanjani?
Choice ukuthi lona is she the one for me.
Okay.
You understand? Ukuthi you'd find ubhizi ngabantu abayi5 umuntu wesilisa. Yangithola. Kodwa mase ka decide ukuthatha uzothatha loyi one. So I feel like women, I'm not sure if they realize that they also have that choice before they get into any relationship to say, by the virtue yokuthi wena uzake machazi ukuthi automatic sekumele ngithi yes mawuzongishela noma uzopropose umshado.
I think what causes that.
Yeah.
Ileyo yokuthi siphila vele or sakhuliswa vele ngalento ukuthi indoda iyashela. So it's always that when as a woman you have to wait for lendota, and sometimes always for the longest time. So once available, you want to grab this opportunity with both hands, whereas as a man unale variety onayo ukuthi ngashela if bangibhazisa bethu usesena 3 others. You understand? Whereas as a woman you don't have that. Funa kulindele obhuti. You understand? So that is why I think most women find themselves in those positions. I'm going to grab the opportunity with both hands. So then angasabheki lawo ma red flags, angasabheki ukuthi patunjani because unalento ukuthi if ngimiyeka uzolandela nini nomunye. You understand?
Yeah,
so I think we need ukuthi singene kulento leyo ukuthi shoot your shots, ladies.
I think if female nenze lokho, right? Which for me go by inkinga.
To shoot our shots.
To do that, right? Especially aside in lendoda, because I can take indoda joy because historically and part of who we are hunters. You understand?
Right.
And just being able to hunt udlinyama yakho. Whereas now amabhubesi asezoo namabhubesi ase in the wild, that different.
but babe, I think aren't we like slowly moving away from these things as kulengazo as a society? That's right? Yes. So it's slowly, right? Yeah. So as I'm saying, maybe that could change indlela abantu besifazana abacabanga ngayo ukuthi I should not just sit by whereas khona brother,
That's the problem ngamajita ne. Ukuthi amajita mawenza lokho
as a woman,
right?
Yeah.
Is with magafuna ngiyamshaya ngiyadlula.
But there are successful relationships, guys, where women made the first move, So that's why I need to see generation, right? Open-minded, I'd like to think. So I think slowly but surely, guys. I mean, it change easy, very fast, So maybe if we could get into that, kancane. Yeah.
I think leyo ngizoyishiya kwabantu abafuna ukwenza lokho yangithola. But I think ipoint engizamkulenza yilelo ukuthi ufila sometimes and nina niyashelwa, to be honest, but let's discuss ngenilanga. But besifazane bayashelwa and all that. That's good. At a certain age abathinteki. Hey, at a certain age abasiboni. Now uyazi khona nje le age yabantu besifazane abantu akhule nabo abantu abanormal akababoni yangithola. And then masakafika kwenye age lese kabona ukuthi hey xesha lemkile kwasho uchawe kuthi xesha lemkile lawo majida lawo sekuyibo manje ama potential edebona sebandlulile lapho yangithola. But that's a conversation for another day.
But also that's not fair because now it's like you're trying to say funeka it goes back to lento engiceda ukuyisho ukuthi as a woman you're always in a position to say whatever comes I must grab it with both hands, otherwise ngizoshiwa isikhathi. You understand? Because if I'm in my prime, in my 20s and nyasleya, right? So I mean, I'm not allowed to say no because I have a certain type at that age. But I'm allowed. But now you're saying I have a certain type and feel in my prime years.
Yeah.
Then masang figure say 30s and 40s ugela lena sengfuna laba kade ngibaqhomela.
Yes, azinkinga yini. When you are doing that, firstly, expectations akho at that age aba unrealistic. Yangithola in a sense ukuthi umuntu omfunayo, umuntu right for wena. Uba kwenye age utshela ukuthi umuntu who would be right for you, umuntu okwazi ukuthengela ama flower, umuntu okwazi ukuyisa kubo ibita. Yangithola mina engibonakala ngathi ngisecure ngihlalela ekhaya backroom or ngihlalela ku bachelor apartment ngisipushana nje impilo kahle kuba ngathi hayi wena uzongislower down. You understand? There's that part of it. Secondly, kuba ilento because ama choice maningi. Yabona khona example lebe bathanda kuyenza yemfene ukuthi imfene beyibona abantu mabakha umbhile emakhaya athatha afake empileni maka ngene entsimini athatha umbhile afaka athatha isikhweba afaka aphume nawo ngalesi saka seligcwele. So imfene yona inasaka but ithatha imimika what a person is doing. Ithatha umbili ufaka ngathi somewhere ulibele uwa lo mbila yona ayitshela ukuthi hayi mayiphuma ngala yesenalo
monkey do
yangithola. So khona abantu besifazana abenza lokho kuthi nangumuzi hayi nangisikave umuntu na. So ama-choice aba maningi for umuntu wesifazane where thina amadoda ama-choice aba maningi later in life accumulate some stuff financial. Yet for nina from nje ukuthi after 18 yangithola especially from 16 khona abantu abadala nje ababhizi nabantwana abancane, right, which shouldn't be happening. But from 16 you find ukuthi ama-suitors so amaningi yangithola. Angazi noma uyalithola ipoint engilenzayo ukuthi abakhona angichazi don't make a choice. Do make a choice ube realistic and ubone ukuthi khona abazokhetha yabo labo bafunayo obadefine ukuthi amadoda because baphethe into yokuthenga kuphela baba inkinga yangithola. So now I think masinga understand ukuthi abantu besifazana now ba understand ukuthi akunankinga yokuthi ubhuti makeza athi userious ngawe yangithola uthi but unabantwana abayi3 from different mothers. What happened? Yangithola because lento le ibonakalisa ukuthi mase silandelela thola ukuthi nabo baby mama bayamlandelela ngemali nani bonakalisa ukuthi irresponsible. You understand? How can you have abantwana abayi3 from different mothers? Yini bekuyini plan lakho masofika ku number 2? So uyaqhubeka so uyakwesitip. So khona ama behavior abantu before akhuluma yena akutshela ukuthi lo muntu uyinhlobo
njani. Yeah. I think also just to add on that thina as abantu besifazana sinaleyo nkinga leyo ukuthi you're always thinking at the time ushelwa, right? You're this guy on number baby mama bayi3 nani. You somehow think, I don't know ukuthi kusuke kwenze njani ngespeaker research somehow, but you think ukuthi special. You know? It's I don't know why as women sinaleyo mentality when it comes to thinking because uyabona ukuthi this guy unale trail ye past embi and then uza kuwe uyambona uza ne baggage, you know, but still somehow you feel ukuthi no mina ngizomshintsha mina nge-special mina nge-this mina nge-that. So I think ladies we need to tap on that and we need to really work on it because you're into a problem ukuthi sicabanga ukuthi we are better than each other sometimes. Yeah.
And trying to compete with each other.
We like competing with each other ukuthi mina ngizombonisa and a guy will do the same thing. And. So, yeah.
Njengo certain minister. Yase Home Affairs.
Right.
Kwafika iside chick yakhipha umfazi.
Yes.
Iside chick yathi uthi hayi mina
yes. And vele senza kanjalo. Most of tholile uzochoma ithupha wena. Ngisho kusesemnandi vele honeymoon phase. Sihamba isikhathi, you know. So I think ekugcineni we look at character yomuntu, right? It's connism is understandable. It's okay, no, asithi maybe he was a widower, you know. Unalabantwana, you know. Omunye umuntu ke things didn't really work out in their previous relationship and he was not the cause, you know, for that. You look at, you know, such things. But khona umuntu man not mawubheka now itray like ukuthi this one he's
I think just kumele bakhipha ama emotions mabenza lo. Maso thatha ithi sinokushada. Keep ama emotions aside. Uthi objectively mangibheka lo muntu. Umuntu engifisa ukuphila naye noma kuthiwa I don't feel uthando towards yena. You understand? Ukuthi is that person responsible enough ukuthi uzoba considerate even when ngifike esikhathini sokuthi azini ngifila ngathi angisakuthandi like uyakwatisa nani, you understand? So sometimes it's a decision based on our feelings ethu. But ingqondo mayibheka ithi hayi la but ithule.
Ibukele.
It will end in tears but I qhubeka inhliziyo ke nayo. Amakwayikwaye. Yeah, but
got you.
I think if we can get to a level where abantu besifazane marriage are surprised, where abantu besifazane bayazi ukuthi they can make a choice ukuthi ngifuna ukushada bani, you understand? Singaba ngcono because ngifila ngathi ezinye izinto bane pressure eningi. Ubone ukuthi lo muntu lo indlavini sazi sonke lokuthi iginza lase lokushini uzibuza lentombazane kusontayo isonto ifuna nalo muntu lo ngithola.
It's really sad.
Yeah, but ke maningi amadoda who need to do better.
And
sibaningi we need to do better as abantu besilisa. Ngithola. But there's a lot of harm we put women through. There's a lot historically, generationally, you understand? So let's try to do better, chance.
Now let's change the narrative, guys. I think generation enter, guys is fundile man. You know, I think they were just doing things. Man, just fundile. We are privy to information. See, I couldn't understand the psychology. You know, the male and female, how we function. You know, can you like try to put in some effort, nyana? You know, and especially in marriages.
The education.
Do you think so? No, man. Why would you think it's as much?
As besides umshado, I feel like the more sitshela ukuthi sifundile kude more siphumelana ini khona. You understand? Beka for example abantu abafundile abantwana baba bakhulumisa ama language abo even and we're like is that smart ukuthi umntwana akhe angayazi identity ngoba identity solwimini. You understand? So ushula umuntu ongafundile wazi ukuthi umntwana kumele abe negama lesintu. Umntwana kumele azi culture yakhe, identity yakhe. Then uthola umuntu ofundile abantwana bakhe abazi next ngoba ukhuluma ilanguage therefore isilungu akhuluma ngaso umuntu omdala ngamazi ngoba isilungu sinemthetho yaso yangithola.
So no, okay, I hear you but
second masiza emshadweni so kuma relationships wethu like so khuluma indaba zokuthi no mina ngumhloniphi umuntu ongangihloniphi. What is that? Like sekunama conditions nje amaningi in how we relate to each other. Asikho umuntu wabeka status sokuthi why is it ama relationship wabantu abafundile abashort
it's because we know our worth. We know our worth.
So I think it's a one thing conversation that we need to have with no matter fundile no matter intelligent khona just the basic of how human beings relate to each other. Engeke replace the education, engeke replace the intelligence.
I was saying in a sense I mean ezintweni ezingazama mhlamba ukusiza you know to work together towards having healthy and good marriages. I mean obviously ezinye vele ziba more toxic, right? Like lento isho your respect, knowing our worth, I won't settle for this and that. So obviously lezo siyazi ukuthi zonke, but ezinye just like njengoba ngisho ukuthi understand the psychology yemuntu wendoda and then now understand the psychology yemuntu esifazane ukuthi kusekwenze njani mangireact akaso, you know, lezo zinto lezo, because I feel like siyakhohlwa at the end of the day ukuthi ama relationships or umshado umsebenzi, you know. One thing that you always saying ukuthi why can't we treat umshado or a relationship as a job, you know, something that you constantly need to work on, something that your life sometimes, you know, depends on ukuthi ifunction iflourish, you know. So singabe relaxed and depend on my feelings with, because they fade behind this cat, and what happens when they fade, you know. You need to carry on this thing that you've started because you have other people that you've brought into that whole marriage, which are kids. So I think I think we really need to do better, guys, as men and women, you know. I don't want to say men, even though size with most of the time. But sonke, guys, we all have a role to play, and that's what I like about Cynthia, because now she did mention ube nawo wakamaphuta, you know. So akusukuthi we saying ukuthi hey men are trash, hey women are this, women are that, you know. Sonke we have a role to play in the way ama relationships wethu end up aba corner, you know. So I think I'll wrap it there. When it comes to Cynthia.
Yeah. I feel like I'm ngikhuluma kakhulu today.
You always do.
I feel like I'm ngikhuluma ngiqeda. I think no issue. I think.
Yeah. I think we'll end it on that note, guys. Asizameni bafethu with this pattern kahle. I mean, it really pains me with every time we have these reviews. It's always women, like I said, I think in the previous video, like all the female authors, guys, everything they're always writing about is pain. How I got over this, and it's pain from relationships. Sad thing, pain from relationships. Literally every book I have of an author, I'm hater in some kind of way, you know. So I'm hoping that one day sizosuka nje lapho ekuthenini sifunde ngepain yabantu all the time. Can you write about the good stuff? Can you write about the good and healthy marriages? Can we have that, you know? And we won't have that if Tina ourselves singazama ukuthi sibe nalokho, you know. We're not saying marriages should be perfect, and we will never be perfect as abantu, but asizameni, guys, okunani. Men and women, I'm putting it out there, guys. So I think we'll end it on that note. Bahlali, thank you so much for joining us on today's episode. We are in partnership with DVC Studios. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. Siyabonga kakhulu, guys, and also yes, Umpumi on the beat. Please do follow her, guys, on Facebook. She goes by Beats by Umpumi. Thank you, guys. Usizamile, guys. Usizamile. So please, guys, let's support each other as black people. You know, sizofika kancane kancane. So thank you, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day, your evening, whenever you're watching this, and peace for now.